I read somewhere that when a clock's owner dies, that clock stops. While there's no evidence to support such an outlandish claim, it's an interesting to regard. However, if it happens to be true, then I have a problem. I've always admired clocks. Something about their simplistic facade fascinates me. In reality, they only reality on one have one job is to keep track of time, to tick every second. But underneath their glassy visages lies a system of wires and gears that is quite complex. Due to this fascination, I have amassed quite a few clocks. Every single one of them stopped at 1:13 p.m. today. When I got home from work, I went straight upstairs to change from my work clothes into something more comfortable. The book I had already left on my dresser from the previous day greeted me as I entered. My friend and coworker Randy had given it to me. The bold crimson letters on the cover read, "Daylight Savings Time, what the US government doesn't want you to know." He's big into that kind of stuff. I promised him that I would read it so we could talk about it the next time we hung out. The rest of my day was booked. It was then that I first noticed something was off. There was an unusual oppressive silence to my room. I found comfort in the sympathy of groans, creaks, and clicks of my house. The orchestra of old floorboards, papery walls, and rhythmic clocks, all playing in a tune, soothed me in a way. Clearly, I had grown too accustomed to the music, as I was acutely aware when one of the sounds was missing. An inadvertent side glance revealed to me that the clock on my bedroom wall, which no longer ticked in time. I approached the clock, light from the midday sun fooled through the adjacent window, and danced across its face. Out of all the clocks in my collection, I was practically fond of this one. In fact, I would venture to say that it was my favorite. My father had gotten it for me when I was a child. I greatly enjoyed its design as well. Each number was accompanied by the naval pennant for said number. This gave the clock's face a dazzling ray of bright yellows, deep blues, and rich reds. Growing up, for some odd reason, I had the affinity for a maritime collectibles. A panoply of model ships meant the world to me. Sadly, I lost them when my father's house burned down several years ago. I guess you could say this clock was a part of that collection, the sole surviving vessel of my long lost fleet. It had indeed stopped. The hour hand hovered languorously to the right of the one, the minute hand just above the free 1:13 p.m. Batteries must be dead, I thought. Admittedly, it had been several months since I last replaced them. A quick battery change would have it up and ticking again in no time. I rummaged through my room, managing to find seemingly new batteries. I flipped the clock over and popped them in, waiting for anticipation for their reinvigorated the first tick of a clock with the brand new batteries. Silence. Perhaps it was just a bad batch of batteries. I have more downstairs. Problem solved. As I combed through the various cabinets and drawers of my kitchen, I noticed that several other clocks had stopped at 1:13 as well. I stood as motionless as the timepieces. The restless hum of pure silence crescended impotently in my ears, lusting for sound. Frantically, I flew from room to room, searching for any noise. Like an ever-tightening noose, reality slowly set in. It wasn't just revealed clocks that had stopped. It was all my clocks. Father Time had abandoned me. In futile attempt to console myself, I searched the time on Google, hoping for some way that it would tell me everything was fine. I wagered my sanity on one Google search. 1:13 p.m. Friday, August 16th, 2019. It's what it said. I swallowed hard, my heart drummed off beat in my chest. What I now acknowledge as a foolish move, I gathered my analog clocks and I spread them silent fleet across the cold sea of my bedroom floor, the glassy stillness engendering diversal anxiousness within me. I began fiddling with each other's dial. I needed at least one of the clocks to move or make a sound to do anything at all, but arbitrary children, they persisted, remaining stuck in place. Panic had long since set in. I paced around my room like a madman, unable to comprehend this nightmare. It was in this manic state that I noticed them, the lumps forming in the center of each of my clocks. It was almost as if a pocket of air had gotten trapped beneath the glass. For some reason, my eyes once again drifted off the book Randy had given me. It beckoned me. I decided to call my friend. The line drowned as it rang. A moment later, it clicked on the call connected. Hello? Randy, hey! My voice quivered as I spoke. What's up, dude? I can't remember the last time we had a phone conversation. Everything okay? I hesitated. Totally. I was just curious. Are your clocks still working? Weird question, I know. I forced a laugh. What kind of a joke is this, man? Indulge me, I replied. He huffed. Yes, my clocks are still working. What is it about? What time is it? 2:30. Are you sure you're okay? A sound from the floor derailed my train of thought. My heart skipped a beat in prospect that the clocks had started again. I soon realized that this sound wasn't anything like the steady metallic click of a clock. This was the sound of something living, organic. It was squelchy, repulsive, and it was coming from the clocks. I have to go. Thanks, Randy. Hold on. I hung up before he could finish. The sound suffused the air around me. Within the span of my phone call, the Postronius had been swollen to the absurdity large size. I stared down at my favorite clock, watching its design stretch taut over the emaciated face that now revealed itself. This thing's other limbs, in which of course were far too many, followed suit. They sloshed and gurgled as they emerged from one another their clocks, continuing this preternatural birth. I thought that maybe if I separated the clocks again, I would stop this, or at least most slow it down. I attempted to grab one, only to have my hand phase through it like it was some horrendous hologram. A concoction of revolt and unease brewed inside me. I could no longer care about what they were most treasured and expensive clocks. I just wanted to stop this. I wanted to destroy them all, watch them burn, turn to dust, anything to get rid of them. But something deep down told me no matter how hard I tried, I would never be able to destroy them. Lights come from the open window faded as ultimately twilight crept through the landscape. All too quickly malignant and darkness bathed my room. I thought Randy said it was only 2:30, but with the arrival of nightfall and the repugnant mix of rot and melting plastic began to penetrate the air, terror burrowed deep in my mind. Despite the inky void now lay before me, I could make out several things of the thing's limbs, swaying uneasily in a non-existent breeze. Its head shook in listless, even motions. It had grown substantially in the mere seconds it took the sun to retreat. This thing would manifest very soon, and I didn't want to be there when it happened. I fled downstairs and hid in the guest bedroom, which coincidentally was right beneath my room. I did the only thing I could think to do that at that moment. I called Randy. So you now want to talk. What's up with you, dude? You're not acting right. Something's coming after me, Randy. You've got to help me. It came out of the clocks. Every one of my clocks. They're melted. It's in my room. Something horrible is coming. Slow down, I can't understand you. What happened to your clocks? Just get over here as soon as you can, please, and bring your 12 gauge. I'll be there. Put the serene clogged the air as the creature's smell invaded my hiding spot. I fought back the urge to gag. That was about the same time it had started making noises, keening, whining, and high-pitched, laced incredulously with low, booming undertones. It was almost finished. My phone began vibrating in my head. I knew before checking it was Randy. Randy, where are you? I whispered. What do you mean? I've been knocking on your door for like 2 months. Is it safe for you to come to the door? The noise from upstairs hadn't become so loud enough to drown out the sound of someone pounding on my front door. If Randy had indeed been rapping on the door, I would have heard it. Randy, there hadn't been any knocking. I don't understand, he responded. Try the knob. Through the phone, I could hear the doorknob click as Randy entered. It's unlocked. I'm running upstairs now, he said. The truth hit me like a freight train. He wouldn't find anything up there. There's nothing here. I've had enough of this. Just tell me what's going on. I couldn't muster the strength to respond. What the hell is going on? He shouted over the phone. Can you do me a favor? Not until you tell me what's happening. Check the clock. The line went silent for a moment. What about the clock? His words were brisk. What does it say? I intoned. It says 1:13, but that's wrong. I'm hiding in the guest bedroom. Come downstairs and I'll explain everything. The line went silent again as Randy made his way downstairs. Okay, I'm here, and you're nowhere to be found, so what's going on? When I got home from work, I found all my clocks stopped at 1:13. I paused, letting the numbers linger in the air. I don't know if it's a sign or if it's some sort of divine punishment, but it's dark here, and there's this thing emerging from the clocks. I could hear it scratching on the floor upstairs. I don't want to find out what happens when it fully emerges. I don't know why you can't see me, though. I was hoping you might know. You're not really in the house, he muttered. What? See, there's so many people who disappear each year under mysterious circumstances. But upon closer inspection, those circumstances aren't really that mysterious. It's the government performing some sort of experimentation. I'm not following. Let me explain. You're not exactly all in real danger. You've just been selected for some government listing. There is no monster. Hell, that's not even your real house. Just a replica. A set they built. They probably released some hallucination into the air to make you think there's a monster. In reality, there isn't anything there. The crazy thing is, I actually tried to believe him. I wanted to believe him. Anything would have been better than what I was witnessing. But, he paused. No, I don't think that's right. The government could pull off pretty much anything. But all in the document cases I've read, they've never done something on this scale. I mean, making it nighttime to further induce terror? I've never seen that before. Randy, I interrupted. He continued, wait, this is not good. If what you're saying is true, then you could possibly be stuck in. Farewell. I hung up. Seconds later, my phone began vibrating. I didn't answer it. I didn't want to hear the rest of Randy's fury. For some reason, I thought the situation was salvageable. I couldn't risk him masquerading the morsel of hope that I still had left. But things were already getting worse. I heard the creature take its first steps. They were clumsy and uneven, like those newborn fawn. It soon began screaming. Not aloud inside my head, agonizing eardrum-rupturing wails reverberated off the walls of my mind. After a while, the screaming stopped. Instead, it now makes sounds that my clock used to make. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So accurately that when it first began, I thought the clocks had started again. That isn't all, though. At random intervals, it whispers to me 1:13 in the softest, most soothing voice I ever heard. It switch between the ticking and whispering psychologically. It wouldn't be long now before it finds me. I'm going to try and run. I haven't been outside yet, and I don't know what danger awaits me, but there's still a chance I can make it. After all, it's only starting to make its way down the stairs. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.